It ain't he, it ain't she, it's we, 'cause I am me, the androgynous model. Nikki Eason presents The Androgynous Model. Hello, I am Nikki Eason, and this is The Androgynous Model Reunion. I definitely want to thank all of you guys for coming out. Like I said before, I am Nikki Eason, originally from Greenville, South Carolina. Shout out to any Greenville, South Carolinians in the building. Awesome, cool. I'm so glad that you guys came. I started the Androgynous Model in September of 2013, and now it is May. So what's 8 months maybe? It's not long at all. It's that long journey that's now coming to an end, and this is the reunion show. It's about these women behind me, contestants, and all the hard work and dedication that they put into it. Not to mention the courage that they exemplified on this show. If you guys are not sure what androgynous means, it means one who embodies male and female characteristics. One who embodies male and female characteristics. Like, for instance, Prince. Prince is I love Prince, right? Prince, you love too? Okay, good. Prince, he's a male, but he had very feminine characteristic. I'm a big fan of Ellen DeGeneres. Y'all know Ellen? Cool. Love Ellen. Awesome. Female that just embraces men's clothing, and all of us up here too. We're women. We just embrace, masculine clothing. Not to mention we have a lot of masculine tendencies. When I was younger, I didn't know what was going on. People used to call me, was trying to figure out if I was a boy or a girl. It used to hurt. It really did. It really did. But I'm sure a lot of guys went through a lot of stuff when we was younger. Being bullied, about it and everything. But I'm just so thankful that, God allowed me to find something that I can identify with and that I can be proud of. So I created this show very similar to America's Next Top Model. Shout out to Tyra Banks. Tyra Banks. I'm looking for Tyra. So if anybody knows Tyra, tell her I'm looking for her. Not to mention, I'm looking for Queen Latifah too. Like, I like Queen Latifah. Yes. I think she does it very, very well. I like Queen Latifah, and not to mention Oprah. You know Oprah? You don't know Oprah? All right. All of that. So Oprah, y'all, I got a lot of people that I really, really admire. So if y'all know them, tell them, watch out the show. Check out the show. Let me introduce you to my moderators. We got Toya. Toya, also known as Reborn. She's from Passaic, New Jersey. New Jersey now. Yeah. We also have Deco Edwards from Dallas, Texas. Oh my gosh. It's pretty far, huh? Pretty far. I actually have ran into these two a few times. Deco was actually featured on episode 4 in the It's a Movement section. I had a part of the show where androgynous people could just send in their photos and actually get a shot to be part of the It's a Movement section. Deco sent her stuff, and honestly, I've been watching her ever since. And when I actually did the finale and I opened up for androgynous models to be a part of it, Deco reached out to me. I'm glad she did, because if she didn't, I would have called her myself and be like, hey, come down. I really like her energy, everything about her. She has great things coming for her, and I'm just so glad that God allowed her to be in my presence and to be a part of this. So she came in and she was a part of the finale in episode 7. Toya as well. Oh my gosh. Toya actually came down from New Jersey to be a part for the finale as well. And I just never seen two people that don't even really know me, but it's something in me that they appreciate and just is inspired by, that they just want to travel and be everywhere that I'm at. And with that being said, I love their support. I just love them.
Okay, I wanted to start off by asking Mello a question. You have a pretty rough edge to you. Not that it's a bad thing, but it's a good thing. But I was wondering, or I got the vibe that this was definitely something that would push you more in a positive direction, this opportunity being on the series. Would I be correct in saying that?
Yeah, you would. Before the show, I really didn't know where I was going. I didn't really have a pretty big goal for myself at that time in my life, and I really didn't know how to speak publicly, how to carry myself in a more manner of professional. And being on the show, I grew up I pretty much grew up, and it allowed me to really see myself. When I would watch the episode, I could see myself, and I could tell myself what I need to work on, and you know, what I could be better at, what I am good at. So yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. Yeah, before the show, I was definitely not where I want to be and where I am right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Serena, when we had the opportunity to meet you at the season finale, you actually talked about when you came to the casting call, you weren't actually there for an audition. What was your reaction once you realized that you were actually auditioning to be on the actual show?
When Nikki first explained what was really going on and how the show would go about, I was actually quite surprised because, of course, there's nothing like that was happening. And I had never heard of anyone ever doing anything like this. So I thought to myself, man, this is going to be a powerful movement. So it actually made me really want to be a part of it. Like you said, I didn't go there for the actual casting. But once I found out what it was about, I was definitely ready to be a part of it.
Awesome.
My question is for you, Super. We've already determined who the winner was, all the glitz and glamour out of it, whether you generated popularity from this or not. I want to go back to that original interview question that you all had to answer. How do you feel when someone looks at you, stares at you, judges you for being who you are or appearing who you are?
It used to really bother me growing up, of course, and I think it had a lot to do with the way that I was raised and my background. I really, really, really had to gain a personal relationship with God on my own, because there was one point I was sitting at home and I was crying, and you know, God then revealed to me that you're not worried about what I think of you, because you already know how I feel about you. You're worried about others and their opinion. Mm-hmm. Right then and there, it just clicked in me, and I live my life now. You know, I know who I am. Awesome. I know whose I am, and that's all that matters.
But my thing is, like, what's your emotion towards it? Like, we know you're hurt. We know you're gonna feel some type of defensiveness. But I need like an emotion. Like, what does it make you feel when you're walking down the street and someone's like, "Sir, you dropped something." Like, what is your emotion towards that?
Honestly, it doesn't make me feel any kind of way. It used to, mm-hmm. But it doesn't make me feel any kind of way now. If anything, I get a lot of compliments more than anything. Cool. So it's not true.
In episode 1, eliminations went a little different the way I thought that they did. Nobody got actually eliminated. So how did you guys feel just seeing that you basically had a redemption?
I definitely think it was a real surreal type of feeling, because we didn't know exactly what was going on or who was going where, because we had just gotten there and everybody was still getting used to the whole, oh my gosh, we're about to do a model thing. Like, yeah, you guys we're trying to be models, and it was just like a wow, already somebody has to go home. Right, exactly. So it was more so of an excitement and oh my gosh, I'm actually kind of nervous. I don't know why, but I'm kind of nervous. So. It was an interesting mix of emotions going on.
What about you, Mello?
It was definitely a breath of fresh air for me. I didn't want anyone to go home, and I didn't want to go home, but it was also like a feeling of, okay, I get another chance to show what I got, and for these ladies to show what they have as well.
That's good. That's good. I like that.
Okay, I have a question for Mello and Serena. During the episode 2 Feminine Challenge, I noticed you two were the most, or appeared to be the most, out of place. Because when you had on your masculine wear, it was easy to kind of, you know, throw the swag on. But once you had to kind of put on more of a feminine role, I noticed your personalities change. What was the challenge for you for that?
Oh man, that was a challenge for me. For someone that never wears makeup or has never worn makeup, it was a big change for me. It's like, it's unexplainable. It was unexplainable for me. So it was a big change. it helped me to see a different side of me and to actually embrace that. So it was a good challenge. It was fun. It was exciting. Like I said, it was definitely a change, and it helped me, allowed me to embrace a different side. So I can say that it was definitely positive.
Good. And Mello?
For me, it was like night and day. I didn't think I was gonna be able to pull it off, but I mean, once I stepped out of the bathroom, I mean, it was just like I just flipped the switch. I mean, I was shocked at myself, honestly, but it was definitely an experience for myself. I mean, because I haven't touched that side in so long, and I remembered where I came from, but but yeah, it was definitely that. It has to be one of my favorite episodes because I got to see a different side of myself, and I was quite comfortable with it actually. But yeah, it was great.
The only time you will ever see me dress femme is for an interview, because I mean the reality is sex sells. So if you say I'm a pretty girl, then I'm gonna be a pretty girl at this interview. I'm gonna get the job and I'm gonna dress like this. So I mean, like, that's why I wanted to know, because it is very uncomfortable for me to put on feminine clothes at one point. Now that I've kind of matured and kind of embraced my femininity, it's easier for me to kind of digress and take that feminine role. That's why it was easy for me to see it right away. Like, I saw it in your face, like when they had to like fix you up and your bra was all in the air. You know what I mean? Like, people saw that, and you know, you saw the softer side of you. You know what I mean? And it was good, but I just knew it was a challenge. And for Tarina, I could see it. Like, at one point, your poses were the same, and but eventually you started to see you come out of it. You know what I mean? So.
And Tarina made it very clear that she didn't want makeup on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was no question. She was like, makeup? No, I'm not doing that. But I thought that it was cool. So my question is, do you guys see yourselves wearing makeup more frequently now, or is it still just like a no zone?
I like how I look in it. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. If it's like an event or something like that, photo shoot, something like that, I mean, I don't have a problem with it anymore. Beforehand, yeah, it was a problem. It was something hard for me to do, but it's definitely not an issue now.
It's still a bit uncomfortable. I could definitely do it for photo shoots. I'm comfortable with that. But as far as my everyday walk, it ain't happening.
At least you're on it, Joe. At least you're on it.
So,
Yeah.
You know, I can do it, like I said, for photo shoots and for things of that nature, but for everyday, nah.
I mean, it's an honest answer. It really is. It really is.
All right, well, we're going to move on to episode 3. It was the struggle challenge. Mello, how were you able to still just be so poised and maintain your composure?
Through experience. I mean, I went through it growing up. It was hard, just constantly being asked questions and people just poking fun at you and whatnot. I mean, it really just came with the whole experience of coming out. Right. And, you know, you get it from your family, you get it from so-called friends, and over time you just learn how to take things for what they are and just really put yourself in their shoes, because I wasn't always a lesbian. I wasn't always androgynous, so I had to think back and put myself in that shoe and really think about how was I at that time. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, for me, I would say through experience.
You guys were actually amongst judges, and they basically created scenarios to where you actually had to explain yourself or educate. The judges felt as though you were a bit in your face and a bit over talking when it came to just explaining that.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Because, I mean, it goes beyond saying, okay, I'm gay. Androgyny is not associated necessarily with being gay. You know, it's whatever vibe you get. I see feminine girls that have a kind of a male swag to them, although they're very dainty. You know what I mean? So as far as the criticism that you got, taking out that I'm gay.
I never personally thought androgyny was about being gay at all. That episode, of course, it was definitely a challenge, and I learned a lot that episode. because I'm okay with who I am, you know, as far as being androgynous, then I don't feel the need to have to try to explain myself at all, because I'm very comfortable with who I am.
Exactly.
So,
Episode 4, the downtown commercial. I just want to know who brought their uncle to the segment. That man, they was all scared.
It was crazy. I don't think we even right. We didn't understand what Nikki was asking us to do because we were just okay. Street, cars, dangers,
Right.
posing, crosswalk, red light, and it was right. It was a bunch of.
But did you die?
Right, in our heads, but no, it was really interesting once we actually got to the physical location and seeing it's not a crosswalk. Those aren't stoplights.
Yeah.
Those aren't cars. That is my audience. Those are my spotlights, and this is my runway.
Yeah.
So it was a whole new facade of what we were looking at, and we were dressed completely in formal wear, and everyone else was like, "Oh, what's going on?" And they're all dressed up. So it was really interesting to actually do it, and once we did it, it made sense, and I didn't feel weird anymore because, of course, I wasn't the only one doing it, but it felt okay. It felt fun. So it was nice. It was nice.
It was awesome
Yeah.
to watch. It was awesome to see you guys kind of go into not being afraid, because you can kind of see the fear at first, but then it was kind of like it was like you owned the street at that point. It was like, this is our street, move cars. You know, so it was pretty cool.
All right, I want to get into the insanity workout photo shoot. As far as, first of all, how many of you guys? How many of you guys were going to the gym prior to that episode?
How many of us wanted to?
Right.
It's like going and wanting to.
Yeah, because it was crazy. So basically, no one was in the gym prior to.
Okay.
What was your feeling towards that particular challenge? Like from beginning to finishing, completing that challenge. What was your vibe on that? Anyone? Emily? Right. Mello,
I will say that I was actually in the gym off and on. A little bit there before. But I'll tell you, the insanity challenge was just crazy. It was so crazy. We all went hard, and it was so crazy. 2 days later, I really couldn't walk. I'm serious.
So
I'm saying, like, taking baby steps. Like, I want to call Nikki up and, like, go insane on her. It was crazy, but it allowed us to really give it our all, and it was good. It was good.
I have to say that's a challenge I would have never expected. If it was me, I wouldn't have expected that challenge. But it brought out the fighters in you guys.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so it was good to see. You had a question you wanted to ask?
Yeah, well, for me, Mello actually won that challenge.
Yeah.
And it was actually the first time that we were able to see a vulnerable side and an emotional side. Like, what took you to that point?
I had to talk to myself. I had to give myself a pep talk, and I wanted it that day. I wanted it really bad, and I wasn't gonna give up. I wanted to see if I was capable of doing it, because I was in the gym off and on, but not like I should have been. You know. But it was definitely just an eye opener for me. I need to get healthy. I need to not just do it for this, but for myself. So and then seeing the ladies beside me, I wanted it for them too, because I seen that they were going hard. They were going hard right beside me, so it was definitely a team effort that day.
The season finale. Let's give it up for the season finale. I definitely appreciated coming on and being embraced by you guys. There was no divas. There was no one acting like, what they doing here? You know what I mean? It was just really genuine, camaraderie. We helped, do a lot of work on the set or on the scene or the set. It was real cool, and it was cool to dig deep with you guys. Emily, I do want to ask you this. I'm not sure if anybody would agree, but from the beginning, you were very, very shy.
Absolutely.
And I watched from the first episode until the finale how you just came, like how you came alive. How has just competing in this season helped you as far as being more outspoken, showing your personality?
It's helped tremendously, absolutely, because I do remember, and even now when I do advertise newcomers to view the series, I purposefully tell them to skip episode 1 and go to 2, just because I know exactly, and I've watched it so many times. I think that's the most watched episode by myself, just because it's so interesting to see myself in that way. It's so funny because I'm not like that in person, and I know that, but as soon as I realized, hey, I'm on camera, I was just like, hey, I'm Emily, and it was different. It really was. But after getting used to it, I mean, and really just understanding, and of course with Nikki's help and everything, and just letting us know, it's just us.
Yeah.
We're just here. You be you. We're gonna be us, and we're gonna be us together.
Right.
And it definitely helped as far as nerves and everything. And by the time we got to the very last season finale, we weren't worried about anything else other than what's gonna happen, and basically who's there. So.
What was your vibe like working alongside these guys for the finale?
Like you said, nobody was a diva. I remember I stood in line in front of Super, and she says, "Oh my God, I have to follow you," and I'm like, whatever. There's nothing wrong with following me.
Right.
Just and it was just cool to be able to. When I first watched the show, Super was the first person I interacted with, aside from Nikki, and Super and I built a bond. And so I remember distinctly telling her, "I'll meet you one day." And just actually, when I walked in, I actually was like, gosh, it was crazy. So I was in the hookah place for like 30 minutes, just like trying to get myself together, like mentally, like, oh my God, what am I about to do? This is crazy. And so I walked in, and Soup was like, "Ah, Deco," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, shit." Shoot. And so it was just like, I mean, and when I met Nikki for the first time, it was just kind of like, wow. And then she was like, "Get over here, give me a hug," and it was just like, man, this is crazy. Serena walks up and she's like, "What's up? You ready?"
Right.
And I'm like,
Oh, Tarina, you were so helpful as well.
but it was cool because we were able to like vibe with them and just hang out. And really, by the time it got to the point to where they were going to announce we thought they were going to announce who won, we were just kind of like, we were in the little closet, because we had to be in the closet. We were in the little closet like, man, dang, man.
This is when it gets real.
Like, who gonna win? Who you think gonna win? And it was just kind of like, we got like emotional. Like, we had been knowing them for years, and we
Just a day, a couple hours.
yeah. But it was cool just being able to hang out with them and get to know them. And, you know, we all get on Facebook and we're like acting like we like BFFs and stuff.
It's awesome. Thank you, audience. Thanks so much for coming in.
Yeah,
you know, a lot of you may not know what this is. I hope that you guys did get to see what androgyny is and did get some type of definition of this. It's something serious. It's important. And like we said before, the next season is going to be in Atlanta,
Georgia. Next season, ATL. It's a demand there. You know, I'm excited about it. It's a bigger city. You know, I know it's a lot of androgynous people down there. Not to mention, you know, I just uploaded the project, you know, on what's called Indiegogo.com. You know, the main struggle that we've had, you know, creating the first season was the financial part. You know, it's hard. You know, there's a lot of things that we want to do, and it does take time. You know, and we really are looking for sponsors, donations, anything to just make season 2 even better. For season 1, we only had one camera, one. And, you know, I mean, sometimes we had to repeat stuff over. Sometimes we had to be out there for hours. We record for 5, 6 to 8 hours, you know, to give you 25 minutes. That's a lot, you know. And just funding and venues and photographers, videographers, all of those cost, you know. So and guys get a chance, you know, go to indiegogo.com. You can check out the project. You can read up on it, everything. But I'm gonna take it to ATL for season 2. It's gonna be even better, you know. And just continue to share it, you know, if you can. If you don't understand it, you know, just watch it. If you know somebody who thinks like that, not sure, send it to them, you know. You never know who you can help, how it can impact. And it's not just, you know, bringing awareness to androgynous people. It's also helping the people who know that they're androgynous, but kind of feel like a little timid to kind of show themselves. Because I feel like, you know, in the industry, there's a lot of people that are like that, but they just don't want to be that side of them because of how society has been, you know. I just feel like, you know, character makes us the same, but society makes us different, you know. So I mean, I'm just so thankful for just the love and support that I've gathered so far, and trust me, it's not the end of it. More and more. So I appreciate all you guys. Y'all was about to get me all teary-eyed up here. We was going, you know, like this is not. No, I can't do it. Maybe later, but I appreciate all you guys. These two were awesome. Don't you think they was awesome? Mello, Tarina, you know, we're missing Trina, but I'm just thankful. I'm thankful, so thankful to be a part of this. I'm so glad that, you know, I have these women beside me to really continue this journey. You know, I'm so glad for people that can that see it now, that I can inspire. You know, and that's just the beginning of it.
You know.